if I told you there is a place on Earth so vast, so alive, and so mysterious that it can change the weather of an entire continent, hide species we've never seen, and still swallow whole civilizations without a trace? Welcome to the Congo Rainforest, the beating green heart of Africa. This is not just a jungle. This is Earth's second lung, a kingdom older than human memory, a world where rivers run like arteries and life grows louder than anywhere else on the planet. Long before cities rose, before pyramids were built, before history had a name, the Congo Rainforest was already ancient. Stretching across 6 countries in Central Africa, this forest covers over 1.7 million square kilometers. That's bigger than Alaska, bigger than Texas, a green ocean with no end in sight. But this isn't just a forest, it is a living machine. Every tree breathes, every leaf sweats, every river pulses, sends moisture into the sky, forming clouds that drift across Africa. Without the Congo Rainforest, entire regions would dry, crops would fail, and climates would shift. This forest helps control the weather of a continent, and humans are only visitors here. The forest before humans. Millions of years ago, when the African continent was still reshaping itself, the Congo Basin slowly sank, forming a massive bowl in the center of the landmass. Rivers flowed inward instead of outward, feeding wetlands and dense vegetation. Over time, this became one of the most biodiverse places on Earth. Gigantic hardwood trees rose toward the sky, forming a canopy so thick that sunlight struggles to reach the ground. Beneath that canopy, another world formed, shadowy, humid, and teeming with life. Plants evolved to climb, strangle, poison, and heal. Insects multiplied in numbers beyond imagination. Birds developed calls that echo like songs from another dimension. And then came the animals. Forest elephants, smaller than their savanna cousins, carved paths through the undergrowth. Lowland gorillas built family kingdoms in hidden clearings. Okapis, animals so strange they look like a mix between a zebra and a giraffe, moved like ghosts between trees. All of this existed long before humans ever stepped inside. The Congo Rainforest is not a place humans built. It is a place humans survived. The first people of the forest. Tens of thousands of years ago, small human groups began entering the forest, not conquerors, not builders of empires, survivors. These were the ancestors of today's indigenous forest peoples, often called the pygmy communities, including groups like the Abuti, Aka, and Baka. They did not try to control the forest, they learned its language. They knew which vines carried drinking water, which leaves could heal wounds, which animal calls meant danger. They navigated using sounds, smells, and subtle changes in the wind. For them, the forest was not wilderness, it was home. It was supermarket, it was pharmacy, it was temple. Their music echoed through the trees, complex polyphonic singing that seemed to blend with birds and insects, as if humans and forest were part of the same orchestra. While other civilizations built stone cities, these communities built knowledge, passed down through stories, songs, and survival skills. Even today, scientists admit indigenous forest knowledge of the Congo is deeper than any modern research. The river that rules everything. At the center of this rainforest flows a giant, the Congo River. It is the second largest river in the world by volume, after the Amazon. Some parts are so deep that scientists still cannot measure the bottom. The river is not just water. It is the forest's bloodstream. It floods seasonally, bringing nutrients. It creates swamps where unique ecosystems grow. It forms natural highways for animals and humans alike. Entire civilizations rose along its banks. Trade routes formed. Fish became food sources. Villages depended on its rhythm. But the Congo River is also unpredictable. Its rapids are among the most powerful on Earth. Entire sections are unnavigable, roaring with such force that even modern boats struggle. For centuries, this river protected the rainforest from outside invasion. The forest had a guardian. When the outside world arrived. For most of history, the Congo rainforest remained unknown to the outside world. Maps showed blank spaces. Explorers feared what they could not see. In the 1800s, European explorers began pushing into Central Africa. They wrote about dark jungles, endless rivers, and strange animals. But what they didn't understand was this: the forest wasn't dark. It was alive in ways they had never imagined. Then came one of the darkest chapters in human history. King Leopold II of Belgium claimed the Congo as his personal property in the late 19th century, not a colony, his private business. What followed was brutal exploitation. Rubber and ivory became global treasures, and the forests became a prison for millions of Africans forced into labor. Villages were destroyed, families torn apart. Violence became systematic. The Congo rainforest, once a sanctuary, became a silent witness to one of history's greatest humanitarian crimes. Historians estimate that millions of people died during this period. The forest remembers. Even today, deep in remote areas, abandoned colonial posts rot under vines, swallowed slowly by nature, as if the forest itself is reclaiming the scars of history. A kingdom of giants and ghosts. Despite human tragedy, life in the Congo rainforest never stopped evolving. It is home to over 10,000 species of plants, more than 400 species of mammals, over 1,000 species of birds, and thousands of fish and insects still undiscovered. Some animals exist nowhere else on Earth. The bonobo, humanity's closest living relative, lives only here. Unlike chimpanzees, bonobos form peaceful, matriarchal societies. The Congo peacock, once thought to be a myth, was only confirmed by science in the 20th century. Every year, scientists discover new species, frogs, insects, plants, hiding in corners no human has fully explored. There are valleys in the Congo rainforest where no researcher has ever stepped. It is one of the last true wild frontiers on Earth. The forest that makes rain. The Congo rainforest doesn't just receive rain, it creates rain. Trees pull water from the soil and release it into the air through transpiration. This moisture forms clouds that travel across Africa, bringing rainfall to farms and cities thousands of kilometers away. Without this forest, droughts would increase, temperatures would rise, agriculture across Central Africa would suffer. The Congo Basin stores billions of tons of carbon, slowing climate change for the entire planet. Destroying this forest wouldn't just affect Africa, it would affect you. A forest under threat. Today, the Congo rainforest faces its greatest challenge. Logging, mining, road building, and agriculture are carving into its edges. Poaching threatens wildlife. Climate change adds pressure. Unlike the Amazon, the Congo receives far less global attention, yet it is just as important. Every tree cut is not just wood lost. It is rainfall reduced, wildlife displaced, carbon released. But hope still exists. Local communities, scientists, and conservation groups are working to protect large parts of the forest. National parks like Virunga and Salonga safeguard gorillas, elephants, and countless other species. The future of the Congo rainforest is not yet decided. Its story is still being written. Closing line of Part 1. The Congo rainforest is not just a place on a map. It is a living, breathing force that shapes weather, shelters ancient cultures, and protects the balance of our planet. And we have only just begun to understand it. The deeper you travel into the Congo rainforest, the quieter the human world becomes. Roads disappear, phone signals vanish, even the sky begins to fade behind a ceiling of leaves. Down here, the forest decides the rules. Humidity wraps around you like a second skin. The air tastes of soil, water, and growing things. Every surface is alive, crawling, climbing, blooming, or rotting back into the earth. In the Congo, death is not an end, it is recycling. A fallen tree becomes a city of insects. Mushrooms bloom overnight like ghostly umbrellas. Vines crawl over trunks, racing towards sunlight that might never reach them. Nothing is wasted, nothing stands still. The hidden world beneath the canopy. From above, the Congo Rainforest looks like a solid green carpet. But beneath that canopy are layers, entire worlds stacked on top of each other. The emergent layer is ruled by giants, trees rising over 60 meters tall, their crowns catching the first light of day. Eagles nest here, monkeys leap across gaps that would mean certain death below. Under that is the canopy, a tangled roof where most life thrives. Fruits ripen, birds flash through branches, and insects buzz in numbers so vast they form moving clouds. Below that lies the understory, dim, humid, and mysterious. Plants grow slowly here, adapted to shade. Leopards move silently through this level, nearly invisible in dappled light. And finally, the forest floor, where almost no sunlight reaches. It smells of decay, yet it is bursting with microscopic life, fungi, and creatures that scientists are still discovering. Each layer is its own ecosystem. Each one depends on the others. If the canopy falls, the floor burns. If the soil dries, the giants die. The Congo is a chain of life, link by link. Predators of the shadows. The Congo Rainforest is not just beautiful, it is a land of hunters. Leopards are the silent rulers here. Unlike lions, they don't roar to claim territory. They melt into branches, watching, waiting. Their spotted coats break apart in filtered light, turning them nearly invisible. One leap, one bite, silence returns. Then there are the crocodiles of the Congo River, including the massive Nile crocodile, capable of dragging prey beneath the surface in seconds. In the swamps, gaboon vipers lie buried under leaves, perfectly camouflaged. They have some of the longest fangs of any snake on Earth. A single strike can deliver enough venom to stop a human heart. But perhaps the most feared predators are not the largest. Driver ants move in living rivers, millions strong. When they march, even elephants step aside. Anything too slow becomes food. In the Congo, size does not determine power, numbers do. Yet not all strength in the Congo is violent. Deep within protected regions live lowland gorillas, peaceful family groups led by a silverback. These gorillas share nearly 98% of their DNA with humans. They form bonds, grieve losses, and play with their young. A baby gorilla laughing sounds uncannily like a human child. They build fresh nests every night from leaves and branches, carefully choosing safe places to rest. But their survival hangs by a thread. Poaching, disease, and habitat loss have pushed them toward extinction. A single outbreak of Ebola once wiped out thousands of gorillas in a matter of months. When a gorilla disappears, the forest changes too. Seeds go undispersed, plant growth patterns shift. Losing them is not just losing an animal, it is losing part of the forest's memory.
The swamps of secrets. In the northern Congo Basin lies one of the most mysterious environments on Earth, vast peat swamps. These wetlands look calm on the surface, still water, floating plants, quiet reflections. But below lies something extraordinary. Layers of partially decayed plants have built up over thousands of years, forming deep peat soils that store billions of tons of carbon. This makes the Congo peatlands one of the most important natural carbon vaults on the planet. If drained or burned, this carbon would escape into the atmosphere, accelerating global climate change. These swamps are also incredibly hard to explore. The ground trembles like jelly. One wrong step and a person can sink waist-deep into mud that smells like ancient earth. Very few scientists have ever mapped these regions. Some locals speak of areas where no one goes, places where the forest feels different, quieter, as if holding its breath. Tribes of the deep forest. Even today, some communities live in parts of the Congo rainforest with minimal contact with the outside world. Their knowledge of plants, animals, and weather patterns is not written in books. It is carried in memory. They know which caterpillars are edible, which tree bark cures fever, and how to predict rainfall by watching ants rebuild their nests. Hunting is done with handmade nets, bows, and poisoned arrows using plant toxins refined over generations. Children learn to move silently through the forest before they learn to count. But their way of life is fragile. Logging roads bring outsiders. Mining camps bring disease and conflict. Traditional lands shrink, and ancient knowledge risks being lost forever. If the forest disappears, so do the cultures that understand it best. Beneath the soil, the minerals of conflict. Hidden beneath the Congo's soil lies a different kind of treasure: gold, diamonds, cobalt, and coltan, minerals used in smartphones, batteries, and electronics worldwide. This wealth has fueled decades of conflict. Armed groups control mining regions deep in the forest. Wildlife habitats become war zones. Rivers turn muddy with runoff. Forests are cleared for camps and supply routes. The world depends on these minerals, yet their extraction often comes at the cost of human lives and environmental destruction. The Congo rainforest is not just fighting chainsaws, it is caught in the crossfire of global demand. Why the Congo matters to the world. The Congo rainforest absorbs vast amounts of carbon dioxide every year. It cools the planet, stabilizes rainfall, and supports millions of people. Scientists call it a climate regulator. But its importance goes beyond numbers. It is a genetic library filled with plants that can hold cures for diseases. It is a wildlife sanctuary found nowhere else. It is a cultural homeland for hundreds of communities. And still, much of it remains unmapped. There are rivers not fully traced, valleys not surveyed, and species not yet named. In an age where satellites map every corner of Earth, the Congo rainforest remains one of the last places where the unknown still exists. The tipping point. The future of the Congo rainforest balances on a knife's edge. If deforestation continues, rainfall patterns could collapse, dry seasons could grow longer, fires, once rare in this humid world, could begin to spread. But if protected, the Congo could become one of humanity's greatest allies against climate change. The choice is not just Africa's, it's global. The Congo rainforest is more than trees and rivers. It is a living system, a cultural cradle, a climate shield, and one of the last great mysteries on Earth. And its fate is tied to ours.
There are places in the Congo rainforest where maps end, where rivers twist into swamps no satellite has clearly seen, where the forest grows so dense that even light struggles to enter. And in these places, reality begins to feel different, because the Congo is not only a land of biology, it is a land of fire, disease, and legend. Fire beneath the forest. Near the eastern edge of the Congo Basin, the rainforest meets something unexpected: volcanoes. The Virunga Mountains rise from the forest like ancient guardians, their peaks sometimes hidden by clouds, sometimes glowing red against the night sky. Among them stands Mount Nyiragongo, one of the most dangerous volcanoes on Earth. Inside its crater lies a massive lava lake, a churning, glowing ocean of molten rock. When it erupts, lava flows not slowly, but fast, like rivers of fire racing toward nearby towns. In 2002 and again in 2021, eruptions sent lava through parts of the city of Goma, displacing hundreds of thousands of people. This is one of the only places on Earth where dense rainforest grows beside active volcanoes. Life here has adapted to destruction. Volcanic soil, rich in minerals, feeds lush vegetation. Gorillas roam slopes shaped by ancient eruptions. Forests grow back over cooled lava fields, erasing scars within decades. In the Congo, even fire becomes part of the cycle of life. Dense forests are not only homes for animals, they are reservoirs of microbes. Many of the world's most dangerous diseases have links to tropical forests, where humans and wildlife interact closely. HIV is believed to have crossed into humans from primates in Central Africa. Ebola outbreaks have repeatedly emerged from forest regions, often after contact with infected wildlife. In remote villages, an outbreak can begin with a single hunted animal. The forest does not create disease out of malice. It simply holds life in such variety and density that viruses evolve constantly, jumping between species in a biological dance that has been happening for millions of years. As roads push deeper into the Congo, contact between humans and wildlife increases, raising the risk of new diseases emerging. Protecting the forest is not just about saving trees, it is about preventing the next global pandemic. Into the unmapped green. Even in the 21st century, scientific teams entering remote parts of the Congo often rely on machetes, dugout canoes, and footpaths made by elephants. GPS signals fail under thick canopy, drones struggle in constant humidity, equipment rusts within days. Researchers have discovered entire ecosystems in places previously marked as empty green on maps. In recent years, expeditions have revealed unknown species of monkeys, rare amphibians, and plants with chemical compounds never studied before. In one region, scientists found vast peatlands stretching for thousands of square kilometers, a discovery so large it changed global carbon calculations overnight. There are still valleys where no formal biological survey has ever been completed. The Congo Rainforest remains one of the last frontiers of exploration on Earth, not because we lack technology, but because nature still holds the upper hand. Legends of the deep forest. For generations, stories have traveled through forest communities, stories of creatures science has not confirmed. One of the most famous is Mokele Mbembe, described as a large, long-necked animal said to live in remote swamps. Some compare it to a dinosaur, others to an unknown species of reptile. Western scientists remain skeptical, but local hunters speak of massive tracks, unexplained splashes, and areas of swamp where animals refuse to go. Then there are tales of giant snakes, larger than any python recorded, and forest spirits believed to guard sacred areas where hunting is forbidden. To outsiders, these may sound like myths, but in a place where new species are still discovered, the line between legend and biology is thinner than we think. The Congo teaches humility. It reminds us that not everything has been catalogued.
Rangers on the front line. Protecting the Congo rainforest is dangerous work. In parks like Virunga National Park, rangers patrol on foot through thick jungle, facing armed poachers and rebel groups. Many have lost their lives defending wildlife. These men and women are not just park employees, they are soldiers in a quiet war, fighting to protect gorillas, elephants, and forests that the world depends on. Virunga is one of Africa's oldest national parks, home to mountain gorillas and active volcanoes. It has also been the site of armed conflict for decades. Yet, against all odds, conservation continues. Each baby gorilla born in these forests is a sign that protection can work. Global race to save the Congo. Governments, scientists, and local communities are now working together in new ways. Satellite monitoring tracks illegal logging. International agreements aim to fund conservation in exchange for protecting carbon-rich forests. Indigenous land rights movements are gaining recognition. There is growing understanding that the Congo rainforest is not just Africa's treasure. It is a global life support system. But time is short. Population growth, demand for minerals, and economic pressures continue to push into the forest. The next few decades may decide whether the Congo remains a thriving rainforest or becomes a patchwork of fragmented green islands surrounded by cleared land. The forest at night. When darkness falls in the Congo, the forest transforms. Insects glow. Frogs call in rhythmic pulses. The air hums with sound so constant it feels like electricity. Some nights, distant thunder rolls over the canopy, while fireflies blink between tree trunks like drifting stars. This is the heartbeat of a living planet, and sound older than humanity, a rhythm that has continued for millions of years through ice ages, volcanic eruptions, and the rise and fall of civilizations. The question is no longer whether the Congo rainforest can survive nature, it always has. The question is whether it can survive us. The Congo rainforest is a world of fire and water, science and legend, danger and beauty. It is one of Earth's final great wild places, and its story is still unfolding.